Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, we've been looking at Psalms on Sunday mornings. Just started this past week. We'll be doing that for a little bit over a month at least. And I've been looking at some other Psalms in Come to the Waters by James Montgomery Boyce. And so we're going to take a look at Psalm 57 today. In Psalm 95. I don't know where 57 came from. Psalm 95. And in verse 6 it says, "Oh, come, let us worship and bow down." So here's a good question. Why? Why worship God? The truth of the matter is we will worship something. It's just the way that God wired us. Some people worship stuff. Those are called idols. You might not think that you worship stuff, but if you think it through, we're going to worship something. Some people worship the person that they see in the mirror in the morning. You might not realize it right away, but we really need to worship God. And whatever we worship, we will become like. I believe Jeremiah 2:5 makes that very clear. The psalmists make it very clear that whatever we worship, we become like. So God's invitation to us to worship Him is not because He's egotistic. He's inviting us to share in His divine nature. And He is worth it. So let's take a look at verse 6. "Come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For He is our God. We are the people He watches over, the flock under His care." He's a great God. And it goes on before this to explain, "Come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation." I was just out in Pinnacles National Park. And if you could see these rock pinnacles from up close and all these different angles, you start at a distance. There's so many times when I've hiked the Grand Canyon. I remember reading a psalm at the base of the Grand Canyon, looking up these rock walls. You can't even see to the top, but it's 3 times taller than the Sears Tower. Yeah, we still call it the Sears Tower. 4,500 feet. And then you realize God's your rock, okay? But it goes on to say He's a great God, the God, great King above all gods. He holds in His hands the depths of the earth. There is this spot in the Pacific Ocean, it's called the Santa Cruz Trench, I think, that we were just near. And it's 3 times as deep, I believe, as the Grand Canyon. Something ridiculous like that. There's so much about the oceans we don't even know. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be talking about the ocean this coming Sunday. Hope you can check that out. "The sea belongs to Him, for He made it. His hands formed the dry land too." Folks, God created everything. There's nothing that exists that He didn't make. I've now been to 36 national parks, 3 national parks in Canada, a host of other places, lots of state parks, and sometimes state parks seem just as good as national. God made a beautiful planet, okay? So that's the reason we should recognize who He is, who we're dealing with, from everlasting to everlasting, from before you were born till after you were born, both directions, as far as you can see. He is way beyond us, so worship Him. But it also says here that He's our shepherd, and that He's the one that we are the people He watches over. He watches over you today. And as a shepherd cares for the flock, you think He'd have better things to do, but the Bible says He really doesn't. We are the flock under His care. You've got something today, give it to Him. I know I've preached about this recently, but what is it that you need from God today? Worship Him. Bow down before Him. Sometimes, folks, it is good to bend the knees and just say, "God, here's my life. Take it. Use it in any way you want. I want to be your follower, Jesus." Love that prayer. And then we're reminded the words of Jesus. He says that I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. Jesus laid down His life for you. Now He invites you to come to Him, to worship Him, to become like Him. May you know His grace and His touch in your life today and His care. God bless you. Have a great day.